Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Math with Dr. War. Today's lesson will focus on the arithmetic operations on polynomials using multiplication. Now, before we begin to multiply polynomials, we have to review product rule of the laws of exponent. Remember the product rule? If you have a base raised to an exponent and you're multiplying by a matching base but raised to a different exponent, you keep your base and you add your exponents. So for example, I have 6x to the 6 and I'm multiplying 4x to the 9. So remember, the 6 and the 4 will multiply each other, while the exponents you're going to add. Integers or coefficients or numbers will use the operations of add, subtract, multiply, or divide, but when you have variables, they follow a whole different rule. So the 6 and the 4 multiply to give you 24. X to the 6 is going to multiply the x to the 9. And remember, we keep our base, which is x, and we add our exponents, 6 plus 9. So our answer is 24x, and 6 plus 9 is 15. So our answer is 24x to the 15th power. Suppose we have 3x to the 3rd and we're multiplying negative 4x to the 9. Remember, your coefficients will multiply each other. They're the only ones who will multiply. But your exponents, because they're with the variable, you're going to have to add them. So the 3 is going to multiply the negative 4. And remember, when you're multiplying and the signs are different, your answer is negative. And 3 times 4 is 12. X to the 3rd is going to multiply the x to the 9. So you keep your base and you add your exponents, 3 plus 9. So your answer is negative 12x to the 12th power. I threw some fractions in here just for a review. So again, the fractions will multiply each other, while the exponents you must add. Negative 1 over 9 multiplying 1 over 4. And remember, when you're multiplying fractions, you go straight across. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And 9 times 4 is 36. And then our exponents, x to the 5th is going to multiply x to the 9. We keep our base of x, and 5 plus the 9 gives us 14. So my answer is negative 1 over 36, x to the 14th. Now, on the task test, you're going to have to multiply monomials, because these are what we call monomials. When you have a single term multiplying a single term, we call them monomials, because mono means one. But on the task test, you may have a monomial, which is the x, multiplying a binomial. So if you have two terms, we call that a binomial, because bi means two. Now, in class, I used to do it this way for my students. For my college students, I would multiply it like this. So x times x gives me x squared, because remember, you have the invisible 1 plus 1, which gives you 2. And then the x times the negative 10, I get negative 10x. But I find sometimes that confuse my students who are in my high school equivalency class. So I use this little box right here. So I take a box, out here is my x, and then at the top I write x and the negative 10. And because I have two terms, I draw a line in the middle and separate. X times x will give me x squared, and x times negative 10, negative 10x. And then my final step, I tell my students, let's put it together with the operator. So your answer, oh, I forgot my x, is x squared minus 10x. And you're finished. I have 7x to the 6, and I'm multiplying negative 4x to the 4th plus 7x squared. So again, for my high school equivalency students, over here is the 7x to the 6. At the top, I'm going to have my negative 4x to the 4th. And over here is my 7x squared. If you want to put the plus sign, that's fine. And then divide this into 2. Now the 7 times the negative 4 gives you negative 28. And remember, you're going to keep that base of x, and you're going to add 6 plus the 4, which gives you 10. 7 times 7 is 49. And then keep that base of x because they match. And 6 plus 2 is 8. And then we put our answer together. Negative 28x to the 10th power. And we need an operator. The 49 is positive, so that will be a plus 49x to the 8. But luckily for you guys, you have multiple choice. So let's look at some questions. Simplify the expression below. 5x times 2x minus 5. So this looks like what we did previously, but we have multiple choice answers. So again, I set up my box. I divide it in 2 because this has 2 terms. So 5x, and up here I have the 2x and the minus 5. 5x times 2x is 10x squared. And then I go to my answers. I can eliminate a because that's a 10x. We need a 10x squared. And I can eliminate c. And then 5x times negative 5 is negative 25x. And my final step is to put them together as one expression, which is 10x squared minus 25x. So our answer is D. Remember, you can't combine these two. You cannot subtract them because they're not like terms. This is an x squared and this is an x. Over here, I have negative 3x and it's going to multiply x minus 4. So again, I draw my box, which I would have to divide by 2. So here's x, this is negative 4, and over here is my monomial, which is my negative 3x. Negative 3x times x, I get negative 3x squared. I go to my answers and everyone is a negative 3x squared. Okay? Negative 3x times negative 4 is going to be a positive 12x. So my answer is negative 3x squared plus 12x. And we go into our answers and it is D. Now here we have to multiply a binomial times a binomial. They want to know what is the product of the expression below. So for my high school equivalency students, I draw a box like if I'm in science class and we're looking at the Punnett squared. So over here this is a 2x and down here is a minus 5. And up here is a 2x and over here is a minus 3. And I begin my multiplication. 2x times 2x is going to be 4x squared. 2x times negative 3, negative 6x. Negative 5 times 2x, negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 3, positive 15. Starting from the left-hand corner, I have 4x squared. Then when I get here, these middle terms, you're going to combine. And combine means to add. And when the signs are the same, we add, so the 10 and the 6 would give us 16x. Keep the sign of the larger number, so it's going to be a negative. And then my last term right here, which we didn't use, is just plus 15. So we always keep the first term and the last term and combine the middle term. So our answer is 4x squared minus 16x plus 15, which is D. Let's try that again. We have to multiply a plus 2 with 3a minus 1. So I get my square, like I'm doing a Punnett squared. Okay, I'm going to divide it into 4. So over here, this is a, and this is positive 2. Over here, this is 3a, and this is negative 1. A times 3a is 3a squared. A times negative 1 is negative a. 2 times 3a is 6a. And 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So starting with the left-hand corner, I'm going to keep my 3a squared. I'm going to combine the middle portion here. I notice my signs are different, so I subtract, which will give me a 5a. I keep the sign of the larger, so it's going to be a positive 5, and I just have to connect my minus 2. So I'm looking for a 3a squared plus 5a minus 2, and that is D. I find that using this square makes it easier to multiply. Now you know the task test, they love their word problems. And sometimes they love to throw geometry with algebra. It says, what is the area of the rectangle? Now we all know that when you have to find the area, you use the operation of multiplication. Need my square. I'm going to divide it into 4. Okay, this is 2x, this is 9, this is x, and this is negative 2 over here. Everyone has their own square. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 2, negative 4x. 9 times x, 9x. And 9 times negative 2, negative 18. I keep my first term, which is 2x squared. I combined my middle section. The signs are different, so I subtract to get 5x, and I keep the sign of the larger, which will be a plus. And then the last thing, just add my minus 18. So I'm looking for 2x squared plus 5x minus 18, and that is B. The last one, find the area of a triangle with a base of 10x inches and a height of 6x plus 4 inches. Now if you want to find the area of a triangle, it is half times your base times your height. So I have a half, my base is 10x, and the height was 6x plus 4. Now because it's 3 things I have to multiply, I'm going to multiply the first 2. A half of 10x. What's a half of 10? 5. And we're going to keep the x. So that becomes 5x, which is now going to multiply 6x plus 4. Now if we do our little box like before, divide that. Up here is 6x, here's 4, and there's our 5x. 5x times 6x would give us 30x squared. And then 5x times 4 would give us 20x. So our answer is 30x squared. Remember, you need an operator. That is a positive, so plus 20x. Okay, that is a 16. No. That's a 30x. No. Okay, this says 30x squared plus 20x. Your answer is C. I hope this has been helpful. Good luck in your task examination.